in the last 6 games. The 18th all-time leading point man in National Hockey League history. 1,153.
Twice the winner of the Lester B. Pearson Award as the league's top player as voted by the players in the league. Quite an honor for Mark Messier.
Yeah, and he's certainly a deserving one. We've got a lot of winners here tonight. Messier, of course, won the Hart Trophy and the Pearson Award last year. Leach the Norris, the Vezina Trophy for the goaltender to Patrick Roy, and the Selke winner, the best defensive forward, Guy Carbonneau. And they are all here on ESPN's National Hockey Night at the Garden. Shot deflected wide. Van Beesbrook able to watch that one just skip by. Didn't have to make a save on it. Rangers back shot King deflected by the defenseman. Rangers coming right down the gut on Patrick Roy in this game. Guy Carbonneau trying to get it out of there. Turcotte moves in for the Rangers. Turcotte, Schneider behind the net. Nobody's got the puck along the boards, just sitting. Finally dug out Canadiens Carbonneau. Carbonneau starts it up. Guy Carbonneau bothered at center. Good back-checking job again by Broughton, who's played a very strong game here tonight. Broughton's one of those people going in and out of the lineup. One of the reasons why he's got a little extra jump. He doesn't want to be out of it after missing the last 2 games. People like Phil Bourque are sitting. Kurt Muller. Errant pass, Nemchinov. Nemchinov tried to hit Kovalev, intercepted, deflected. King coming across the line, hit Damphousse and knocked him down. And Beesbrook lets that one go around to the near side point. Cleared out the center. Getting back on side, Damphousse couldn't play it. Flipped up in the air by Broughton. John Erickson, who's got one of the 2 goals for the New York Rangers, the corner to get it, centered for Gartner. And again, you see how low the Canadiens defensemen are, right at the top of the crease to help Patrick Roy. A lot of teams don't send their defensemen down that low, or at least their defensemen don't play that low. J.J. Daniel that time did. Shot! Score! Intercepted again. Gartner gets the goal.
Well, a bad giveaway by J.J. Daniel right onto the tape of Mike Gartner. Couldn't have been a better pass, and he wastes no time in rifling it. I believe it went in the 5-hole. Patrick Roy taken by surprise on that shot. Daniel trying to move the puck quickly. He sees the open lane, but Gartner shuts it down. Good pursuit here by Gartner in the first place. Canadiens are okay. Good reverse. Here's Daniel with the puck. You see Gartner coming in. Nemchinov screened Gartner. Daniel couldn't see him. Daniel trying to pass it by Nemchinov and enabled Mike Gartner to come in. You see with Daniel, he can't see Gartner there. There's Gartner jumps in. Boy, one move, and boom, he lets it go. And with Mike Gartner shooting from there, if it doesn't hit you, it's going in. Right along the ice under the right pad of Patrick Roy.
The leading goal scorer now for the Rangers this season, 5 for Mike Gartner. And the Rangers have a 3-1 lead. And Mike Gartner is now just 1 shy of tying Richard for 9th on the all-time goal-scoring list. Maurice Richard, who has 544. Gartner has 543.
Also, he has 13 consecutive 30-goal seasons or more. And that's incredible. What a great career this man has had.
If he gets it this year, with Gretzky not playing, he'll be the only player ever to do it 14 consecutive seasons, and Gartner's definitely got a shot at it. Rangers chase it down. Jeff Bukaboom back in his own end. Bukaboom got it up the center. Kovalov there, sent it in. Messier, the shot, save made by Roy. Messier chips it up in the air right out to the front of the net. Brian Leach was there trying to get it. Savard stepped in front of him. Sent into the corner by John LeClaire. Puck freed up. Rangers get it right back. Leach starts it up ice. Rangers up again, 3-1. Messier in. Mark Messier turns, taken to the boards by LeClaire. Puck freed up. Here's a chance. Canadiens 2-on-1. Kovalev gets back on defense. Now a 3-on-1. Snyder shot, save. Van Beesbrook on Matthew Snyder. Kovalev caught up with a Canadien who had about 3 steps on him that time.
A great play by Snyder coming up in the rush. Tom Meese.
All right, Jim, let's go to the Cap Center, Landover, Maryland. A 1-1 hockey game. Here come the Islanders. Vladimir Malakoff with a shot. Goes off the backboards, comes out at a funny angle to Ray Ferraro, who gets behind the defense and chips it by Don Beaupre at the end of 1. It is 2-1 Islanders leading Washington in the Patriot division. Jerry?
In a mighty tough division with a lot of great teams. Gartner's 5th unassisted at 9-11. Kovalev 19 years old with so much yet to learn, and Messier wants to teach him. Oh my God. Score! Another turnover taken advantage by the Canadiens. Todd Ewen. 3-2.
Well, Todd Ewen had his first 2-goal game of his career against St. Louis on Monday night. He scored another one against San Jose and another one tonight. And here's a big, tough guy that is just playing hockey this year and playing it extremely well. Matter the puck bouncing around. The Canadiens get it. They 2-on-1, the Ranger defenseman. And simply just a pass to the slot. Hardy's there, 2-on-1, boom. And he just takes a shot. Bad break in sorts for the Rangers as the puck was bouncing around, but a good alert play by the Canadiens and a real good shot by Todd Ewen.
That is his 4th goal of the year. Todd Ewen putting some in that Canadiens might not have been expecting to get. Muller in the corner, knocks it deeper, played there by James Patrick, and we're back to a 1-goal game. 8:54 left to go in the second period. Rangers leading at 3-2. The shots are now 20-15 as the Canadiens have come back here in this second period with the advantage in shots on goal, and they've taken advantage of it, putting a couple in the net. Brought in by Damphousse. Damphousse to Muller. Van Beesbrook beating to the puck. Eric Muller got pinned up in the corner on the far side. Skates flying. Nemchinov got it out. Jan Eriksson with a goal. Off to Gartner, who's got a goal. Gartner's shot. That deflected wide off the stick of J.J. Daigneault. In the corner, Gartner again. Nemchinov in front of the net. Waugh sees it, and Waugh will cover it up. Ewen's goal at 10:48 from Savard and Roberge. 3-2 Rangers.
On top, 1-zip, 5.5 into the first. Jerry?
Wayne who? Boy, I'll tell you, Wayne's got to be proud of that club. They're putting on a show of what they can do without 99. Just looking at Todd Ewen's numbers, he has 4 goals this year. He has equaled his high for a National Hockey League season. He had 4 with St. Louis 1 year, 4 again with St. Louis, 4 with the Canadiens 3 years ago. Last year he had 1 goal in 26 games, and the year before that 3 goals in 28 games. Todd Ewen has already picked up 4 goals this season in 7 games. Hello, Todd Ewen. Bounced behind Patrick Waugh. Rangers up by a 1, deflects to center. 8 minutes and 6 seconds to go here in the second period. Jay Wells, and away from the play, Dion and Sorella got tied up, and both of them went down. And we're going to have at least 1 penalty coming up here. It's going to be an interference call on Joe Sorella.
Well, Joe Sorella, another one of the Rangers, has been in and out of the lineup, and what a great guy this man is to have in your team. He's one of the best team players in the National Hockey League. You see him there, he gives Dion a little shot in the midsection, and he's just too aggressive on the pick, way too aggressive. Dion goes down, and Joe's going to sit out the next 2 minutes.
Talking about those Kings, we want to remind you, Jim and I will be on Long Island to bring you the game between the Los Angeles Kings and the New York Islanders. Note that is Tuesday night. They still have the likes of Luc Robitaille and Yari Curry. Hope you'll join us 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Tuesday night from the island. Wayne Gretzky is going to be joining us during the intermission of that game on Tuesday on ESPN's National Hockey Night. Sorella interference at 12:01, and the power play for the first time for the Canadiens, the worst power play in the National Hockey League.
Well, the momentum has definitely swung in the Canadiens' favor. They came out, they played a good second period. If they could score in this power play, not only does it even the score, but it really puts the Rangers in a bit of a hole. This is a pattern for the Rangers. Strong first period, then the other teams catch up in the second and in the third. It's not a pattern that Roger Nielsen likes.
The Montreal Canadiens have not scored a power play goal on the road yet this year. They're 0 for 24. They are 5 for 54, under 10% on the power play, dead last in the National Hockey League. Yet, not unusual for the Canadiens to be low on the power play. That is not one of their strengths over the last 3-4 years.
We're talking to Jacques Demers today. He thinks they just have to bear down a little more on the ice. They're working on it in practice. They did have a game against Minnesota where they scored 4 power play goals, but consistently it has not been good for the Montreal Canadiens.
Only one other than that game, since they have only 5. Savard sends it around, Muller sends it around the net, hit by Bukaboom. Canadiens on the power play here. 7:11 left to go in the second period. They've got a chance to tie this game up. On the near side, Canadiens working Kevin Haller. Haller right there playing one of the points. They tried to overload this side, trying to set Muller up on the far side. Muller on the power play working down low. In front shot deflected by Amati. Muller going to the corner for it, tied up with Bukaboom, who held him off the puck.
Good advice for a struggling power play is to get the puck back to the point, jam the net, make a 3-on-2 forwards versus defensemen in front of that net, and blast the puck from the point. You're going to get tip-ins, you're going to get rebounds, you're going to score some goals. When you're struggling and you try to make perfect plays, it just doesn't work.
Brisebois with 2 power play goals leads the team in that department. Savard, wraparound shot, scores! This game is tied from behind the net. Denis Savard, power play goal, their first on the road in the 92-93 season.
Well, again, Van Biesbroek is late getting over to the post. It's almost like he loses his puck behind the net. That's 2 goals tonight, very similar, where Van Biesbroek is caught on one side of the net. The puck comes around to the other. Savard's very quick. Van Biesbroek is slow in reacting. It's like he doesn't even see that puck in Savard's stick. It appears to be looking at Savard here. You can see Savard on the right of your screen. You can't see Van Biesbroek now, but Savard's coming out. Van Biesbroek is still looking over his right shoulder.
Did you see that little move Savard put on with that step? He does that little dance where he looks like he's going to go the other way and doesn't.
Well, he's still so quick, and I was talking to Steve Shutt today, who's working on the radio for the Canadian organization, and he's saying with this new rule, eliminating the holding and the hooking, Savard is dancing again the way he used to dance with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Well, we hope we'll be able to show you some more of his dancing, because it's something to see, I'll tell you. Pass blocked off J.J. Daniels, stick held in. Game tied at 3-3. Savard's power play goal, 4th overall in the season for Savard. LeBeau and Snyder the assists. 13:37 the time of the goal. So goals by Ewan and Savard have brought Montreal back to tie this game up. 5:41 remaining now in the period. Backed off to Joe Cirello, who picked up that penalty that created Montreal's first power play. The other thing they've done here, they have quieted a Garden crowd who was getting into this game. Joey Kosar couldn't handle it. Cleared back out, and the offside pass off J.J. Daniels' stick. Delighted to have you with us. ESPN's National Hockey Night. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld will bring you the NHL all season long, and we'll bring you the playoffs and all the Stanley Cup final games too. Roger Nielsen behind the bench for the Rangers, who've seen their lead disappear.
Well, he wants to know who changed the players' sweaters between the first and second period. It's like 2 different teams. The Rangers came out storming the first period. The Canadiens had a very tough time containing them. Second period's been all Canadiens. It's almost like 2 different teams. First period, the attacking team was in the white. Second period, the attacking team is in the red.
Messier's got his 3rd goal of the season. Erickson has picked up his 2nd, and Gartner his 5th for the New York Rangers. The other side of it, though, it's been Dion, Ewan, and Savard for the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens trying to win here. In front, double off shot, blocked. Patrick Waugh just held the near side post. Kid is so quick. Kovalev got around on that one, had a great chance. Brought in Leclerc. Over the shoulder of Van Biesbroek. Leclerc tracks it down himself, then got dumped in the corner. Puck freed up, brought out Messier, stuck behind him. You'll see that happen on this Ranger ice sometimes. It has long had a reputation as being the worst ice in the league. Leach had it blocked by Waugh. Sometimes so bad the puck will actually stick because there's so much water on the surface. That's because it's up and down so much here with all the events held at Madison Square Garden. Although in credit to the Garden crew, I've heard some players say this year this may be the best ice they've seen at Madison Square Garden in a long time. Rangers unable to control 3-on-1 shot. Van Biesbroek to save. Mike Keane putting the shot right in the pads. Rangers and Canadiens tied at 3. Night on ESPN's National Hockey Night. Take a look at the program. Take a look at the toughest division in the National Hockey League. 2 of those teams are not going to make it to the playoffs. Flip a coin.
And they'll probably be well over 500 and still be out of the playoffs. It's incredible what a difficult division this is.
Look how tough that race is right now. Pittsburgh, of course, the only undefeated team in the National Hockey League. Rangers, New Jersey, Philadelphia Islanders, and Washington. Washington in last place. Nobody would have thought, even in this division, Washington would have been there at any point.
Well, they've had a lot of key people injured. I think once they get their injured players back, Washington will have a strong second half of the season and be in the playoffs.
Yeah. Patrick, you heard it here first then. Patrick cleared it around the boards. Mike Gartner has got a goal, lost it. Picked up on the near side by Ronan. Couldn't control it. And Montreal will chase it in their own end. 4:12 remaining here in this second period. This has been just an outstanding hockey game between two of the National Hockey League's best teams. Gartner putting the work on in the corner. Great forechecking. Dion coughed it up. And it'll be Montreal controlling. Montreal had a right winger, lost his stick. Savard centered it in, tipped wide. Good scoring opportunity right there for Ed Ronan. Did Ronan lose his stick and go to the bench and grab somebody's and almost got the shot?
It just hit the defender's skater. Would have been right on his stick. A great play again by Savard.
Couldn't figure out where he got the stick from. Rangers back the other way. Check put on in the corner. Good hit by Eric Desjardins. Desjardins, the young defenseman, trying to tie up Jan Eriksson. Eriksson out there with the Nemchinov. Two of them have worked very well together on this line tonight. In behind the net, it is still loose. Looking to center, Gartner was cutting through the middle, couldn't do it. Puck just rolled up along the boards. It's under some bodies down there. Patrick stepped up to hold it in. James Patrick didn't see Gartner open all alone. There he is. Shot was partially blocked. He stood there alone before J.J. Daniel finally found him. They will wave off any icing.
Nemchinov and Eriksson are a real handful. When they're forechecking, it's very difficult for any defenseman in the National Hockey League to get away from them.
Odelin will touch this one up. That will be an icing call. We'll check in with Tom Mees.
All right, we'll go back to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Gary. 1-0 LA Kings face off in the Winnipeg zone to the left of the goaltender Essenza. The puck comes back to the point. Paul Coffey will take the shot. Now, the puck goes off the skate of Sergei Bayutin of Winnipeg. They credit the goal to Luc Robitaille. 2-0 LA still in the first.
There's a name that may finally get, he's had some recognition, but Luc Robitaille, one of the best scorers in the National Hockey League, but always overshadowed by Gretzky.
Pure goal scorer. I mean, it's amazing how well Los Angeles is playing without Wayne Gretzky. Way better than anybody thought they would.
There you see the shots on goal. What a comeback by Montreal here in this period. Montreal had only 5 shots on goal in the first period. 13 here in this one. They are now out shooting the New York Rangers in this period. Game tied at 3-3. 2:47 left to go. Comes to center. Matthew Snyder sends it in. Muller could not handle it. Muller, great chase by Muller. Leach had to take him down. Muller gained the step on him. Another one of those hustling kind of Canadian players. Sent wide side. King will go over to get it. King will take it in behind his own net. Challenged back there by Bellows on the forecheck. Tipped out of the zone. Broughton couldn't control it. Snyder takes it back in his own end. Avoids Turcotte. They wheel and deal at center. Vincent Damphousse. Damphousse wanted to center it. Jammed in the corner. Anybody's puck. Canadiens control. Muller out in front. King behind the net for the Rangers. Nice job by King. Muller moves in on him. Gives him a little check for the boards. Canadiens, though, are holding the puck in the zone here. A lot of hitting going on as Matthew Snyder got knocked down on the near side. Kicked at. King. Muller. That hurts. Right into the boards. Broughton drops it into the middle. Graves moving it in. Turcotte rather moving it in. Couldn't control it. Changing it up. Snyder. Damphousse hit by Joe Cirella. Stood him up long enough to cause control. Sent back in by Doug Waite. We play a little turn it over at center ice now. Cirella chasing it down. Got it by Guy Carbonneau to Waite. Doug Waite dropped it in the middle. Tony Amonte on the left wing side. Amonte let it go. Shot on. Patrick Roy! There's the glove that made Montreal famous. Just picked that out of the air off Joey Kosa's shot.
What a tremendous save. Waugh is out, square to the shooter. A good pass from Amonte over to Kosher. You see the pass coming here. I'm sorry, that's Wells. And Kosher's got a good angle here, and he snaps a good wrist shot. Patrick Waugh, boom, with the glove. It didn't hit the glove. He had to move the glove. That was a big league save by Patrick Waugh.
Joey Kosar, known as the best fighter in the National Hockey League for a number of years, has turned into a true player.
Well, when you look at this Ranger team, they have players like Kosher and Ty Domi, King. These guys are good scrappers, but they're good body checkers. They skate well enough to get there and run people over with good, clean, hard hits. So they can beat you more ways than just by dropping the gloves.
Minute 13 remaining here in the second period. Tie game at 3-3 Canadiens. The last 2 goals have been theirs. Roberge sent it to the wide side. Ewan, who's got a goal, back to Roberge, center, coming in. Ewan, the shot! Blocker saved by Van Beesbroek, who came out and cut the angle down. Held in near side. Canadiens putting heat on. Roberge off Van Beesbroek's stick. Roberge along the boards. Final minute of this period. Rangers Kosher Rushing it up. Amani in. Tony Amani missed it. Didn't have any angle, but he hit it and missed the short side post on Patrick Roy. Back comes Roberge. Roberge in. Roberge drops it. Point shot blocked off Carbonneau. Wells, who doesn't have a stick over there, looking for someone to help out. Pinned up against the boards with time running. Still running. Even after the whistle stopped, it's still running. Ran off about 5 seconds. While all this was going on, they didn't stop the clock.
It's difficult to tell who the major combatants are here. They haven't separated enough for us to see anyone. There's Jay Wells.
Wells and Roman now.
Jay Wells is a good, hard-nosed, no-nonsense type of hockey player. He just comes, he asks no quarter, he gives no quarter. He's a good body checker. He moves the puck well. And if he has a chance to hit you, he can hit you pretty hard.
Pat DePuzzo, Brian Murphy, the linesman, move over, and all is settled.
Well, Tony Amani does a great job of just exploding through this Montreal defense. Desjardins hooking him. Daniel comes in a little later, but what great strength and good stride by Tony Amani. A little flip pass by Kosher, and there he splits the defense. When the puck is in the air, it's much better for a defenseman to go where he thinks the puck is going to come down, rather than try to knock it out of the air. Even if you hit the puck, there's no telling where it's going to go. There, the Montreal defender tried to knock it down. He got a little piece. Amani kept going. So rather than backing up and having a piece of Amani, Amani got a stride on him and was able to get a pretty good scoring chance.
Coming up, our second intermission, we'll have Bill Clement, El Morgani back at our studios with Tom Mees, bring you up to date on all the highlights of the other National Hockey League games. With only seconds left here, Joey Kosar, there are going to be some penalties. Kosar will head off into the locker room. They're putting the time back up. It was 18 seconds. Now it's back up to 23.4. We'll wait for the call here on the penalties by Ron Hogarth.
There's Roberge. He doesn't go in too hard to the New York Ranger player there, unless he's giving him a little extra while he's down. I thought he could have hit Kosher much harder there. Kosher takes exception to it, gets right up, and starts pushing with Guy Carbonneau. And they milled around for a while. I'm sure there was some explicit hockey jargon exchanged. That no one is any worse for wear. And we'll finish the last 23 seconds and wait for a very exciting third period.
Coincidental minors, Roberge and Kosher roughing in 1936. We had 4 penalties in the first period. We've had only 3 penalties here in the second, but a costly one. Joe Cirella's penalty resulted in a power play goal for the Montreal Canadiens, and then they came back to tie it up on an even strength. Now we will skate 4-on-4 here with 18 seconds remaining to go in the period. Denis Savard, 4-on-4. He can wheel and deal. Muller intended. Patrick back with him, and James Patrick got there in time to force the icing, and that's important as the face-off now comes to the other end.
Interesting look. It's a 3-3 hockey game. We're in Madison Square Gardens, the Rangers' home rink. 4-on-4. Montreal puts out 2 offensive players, Muller and Savard. The Rangers have 2 defensive players out there. Just interesting, something to think about. Again, Muller stays out. Now you have Carbonneau because it's a defensive zone face-off. So you have Muller, who was a center and left winger, can take draws. Carbonneau's out there to take draws. But in the neutral zone, Montreal is thinking maybe we can get a scoring chance this last 23 seconds. Roger Nielsen is thinking let's go in to the dressing room with a 3-3 tie and come out and take our chances in the third. Now with the offensive zone face-off, excuse me, Gary, he's got Messier and Gardner out on the ice for the draw.
Get the shooters out there. Guy Carbonneau, the Canadiens captain. Messier on the draw with Carbonneau. Gardner put it back into the middle. Good play by Muller to cover up. Tried to clear the zone, didn't. The Canadiens now will just drag it out of there. So the Montreal Canadiens, who looked like they were going to be devastated after that first period and only 5 shots on goal, come roaring back in the second period, and they score the last 2 goals, picking up 3 of them in that second period, and this game is now tied up. A great comeback. 3-3 at the end of 2 at Madison Square Garden. Back to Tom.
All right, Gary, we are, as we began, all knotted up in the third period, or maybe overtime will be needed to decide this one tonight between the Canadiens and the Rangers in New York. Well, we've been watching that game. They've been playing hockey at the Aud in Buffalo. A good game there, too, between the San Jose Sharks and the Buffalo Sabres. With the game tied at 2, you're going to see a loose puck here in the Buffalo zone. Lying there so tantalizingly, you would think a shark would gobble it up, and he would. Yes, it's Brian Lawton. Over to Pat Falloon. Falloon sees Dale Craigwell steaming down the slot unchecked, and he goes the backhand, gives San Jose a 3-2 lead. But on the power play moments ago from the corner, Pat LaFontaine in front to Randy Wood, pulls the trigger, and he beats Brian Hayward. That game now midway through the second period is tied at 2. Dave Andrechuk has a couple of goals as well for the Buffalo Sabres. He now has 8 on the season. 3-3 as well as our score between the Montreal Canadiens and the New York Rangers. We'll be back as National Hockey Night continues in a moment.
National Hockey Night is presented by Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
ESPN's National Hockey Night rolls on. Tom Mees along with Bill Clement and Al Morganti. We're having a good time watching a good hockey game from New York tonight. And while that's been going on, the Islanders and Capitals going at it in a Patrick Division war at the Cap Center, Landover, Maryland. Let's see what transpired in the first period there. This has been a seesaw game. And even the little ones are out for this contest tonight. Pierre Turgeon, the Islanders, to Steve Thomas. Great pass finding Derek King in front. That made it 1-0 Islanders. 41 seconds later, Sylvain Cote cranks the shot up. Healy to save Peter Bondroff. Balance ties the game at 1. But the Islanders come back. Vladimir Malakhov with a shot off the end boards at a weird angle. Ray Ferraro unchecked puts it past Don Beaupre. And at the end of 1 and now in the second period, the Islanders lead it by a score of 2-1. Meanwhile, in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the Kings and the Jets. Jets in a 2-man advantage. 2 minutes into the game, Winnipeg sets the table for Teemu Selanne, who's stolen by Kelly Rudy in front. Winnipeg goaltender Bob Essensa falls down after a point shot. Thomas Sandstrom with the wraparound made it 1-0. And Paul Coffey the shot. Luke Robitaille gets credit for the goal after it goes in off the skate of the Jets' Sergei Bayutin, easy for me to say. Los Angeles leads it 2-0. The Kings are hot. They've won 4 of their last 5. Later on tonight, about 20 minutes or so, the Edmonton Oilers will be back home at Northlands Coliseum against the hot Boston Bruins, and the Oilers are glad to be back home because it couldn't get any worse than it did a couple of nights ago in Tampa at the end of a road trip. They were blitzed by the expansion Tampa Bay Lightning. Once again, the Oilers off to a slow start as we take a look at the facts and figures. 1-6-1 through 8 games this season. But then again, they've been a slow starting team the last 3 years. But Bill Clement, I got to tell you, as you take a look at, they've already given up 40 goals this season. That's 10 worse than at this time a year ago. The Edmonton Oilers, who dominated this game more than maybe any team has in a long, long time since the Islanders of the early 80s. They go to Tampa. They're out of the game in the first 5 minutes. They get blitzed 6-1. I'll tell you, that's rock bottom for the Oilers, isn't it?
Well, rather than get you to say Batunian's name again, or however you pronounce it, let me just say this. Don't ever count the Edmonton Oilers out for a couple of reasons. You already mentioned one of them, but I think the best reason is they have, if not the best general manager in all of hockey, the second best. Glenn Sather of the Oilers, I think, is the top 2. In the top 2, Harry Sinden in Boston is the other one. And the second reason is the Edmonton Oilers come on and are always one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the second half. So you put those together and don't ever count them out.
Al, do you count them out?
Don't count them out because they have moves to make. Glenn Sather's he doesn't panic. He takes his time. He's got Joe Murphy sitting out, contract problems as usual there. He's got Kevin Lowe out, skating in Kamloops with the Kamloops Blazer. He has those moves to make. Plus, Peter Klima's been out. He got hurt in the 3rd game of the season. He had 5th game. He had 6 goals in 5 games. They have the moves to make. Glenn Sather's a patient man. He will wait until the right time, and they will make the playoffs.
He's a patient man, but remember this. They're 1-6-1 right now, and they're playing one of the hottest teams in the National Hockey League tonight. The Boston Bruins will be keeping track of that game. It's going to start in about 20 minutes or so from now. And a reminder, Tuesday night, another National Hockey Night telecast. The Los Angeles Kings, who are doing quite nicely, thank you, even though Wayne Gretzky isn't in the lineup right now. Luke Robitaille certainly is. He's already scored tonight. The Kings and Islanders, Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern.
The punch. Luke Robitaille leads the Kings attack against the Islanders Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern, live on ESPN National Hockey Night.
It's that time once again, time for our National Hockey Night Plays of the Week. Now, you see Plays of the Week in baseball and football and basketball, but when we present to you the National Hockey League Plays of the Week, it is a very formal occasion. Hey, you don't have to dress up for our Plays of the Week. Just ask Robert Ray of the Buffalo Sabres. And even if you do dress up these days, you're liable to get your pocket picked. Boston goaltender Andy Moog leaves the puck for Thomas Sandstrom. Thank you very much, says Marty McSorley. He gets the goal. You're also liable to run into some highway robbery, like John Van Beesbrook of the Rangers robbing the Islanders' Pierre Turgeon in the crease. And if that wasn't bad enough, here comes Turgeon to breakaway. He's going to get even. He's going to get the left pad in his face. Chris Terreri of the Devils in goal. Off the Steve Larmer shot for Chicago. short circuits the centering pass and loses his helmet to boot. Hey, even in the tightest of families, we can have disagreements, right? Differences of opinion, like Eric Lindros and Mike Eagles. Ouch! Like the Islanders' Rich Pilon and Eric Lindros. Whoa! Like Jim Johnson of the North Stars to Alexei Gusarov of Quebec. Hey, Alexei, first rule in the States, got to skate with your head up. What about Mike Peluso and Al Iafredi? Look out below. Jeremy Roenick of Toronto proves, though, that hockey isn't all hitting. What a beautiful move by Roenick. And look at this, Larmer to Jeremy Roenick. Charity begins at home, at least in Chicago Stadium. And a beautiful move by Denis Savard of the Canadiens. Goes to his left, goes to his right, does the spinorama, and gives to Kirk Muller for one of the prettiest goals you'll ever see. They say Brett Hull doesn't pass the puck enough. Don't tell that to teammate Igor Korolev, who puts it in the net. And Tom Barrasso says, look, I'm a goalie, but I want an assist, so I'll knock it off the boards to number 66. Good thinking. Mario Lemieux seldom is stopped on a breakaway. Now, Bob Sweeney of Buffalo has to be frustrated all year by this. He gets a weird bounce off the boards. Oh, look, an open net. I missed it to the right. How could I do that? He doesn't know how to accept charity, but no charity needed for number 17 of the LA Kings, Jari Kurri. Yeah, I know it's an empty net goal, but it's his 500th career goal. Congratulations to the Hall of Famer, Jari Kurri of the LA Kings. A slight clarification. Jari Kurri has not yet been inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, but that's just a formality. He will end up there before his career is through, or as soon as it is through. And we're through 2 periods in New York. Patrick Waugh saving the bacon here against Tony Amati as he got behind the defense. 3-3. Montreal, the Rangers after 2.
Come out on
United in the second. The Islanders continue to lead Washington 2-1. In the first period, the LA Kings have a 2-0 lead over the Winnipeg Jets. In Buffalo, tie game between the San Jose Sharks and the Buffalo Sabres. Dean Evison finds himself in front alone with the puck. Just gets a piece of it. That's enough to beat Darren Pupa as Emerson falls down, but he gets up and celebrates. San Jose at the end of 2 leads Buffalo 4-3. LaFontaine, a big night for the Sabres with 3 assists. Back in a moment.
ESPN. See why NFL Game Day is the show the pros watch. Sundays at noon Eastern.
National Hockey Night is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, who proudly brings you Family Talk. Let's stop underage drinking before it starts. And by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
Welcome back. Montreal and the Rangers tied at 3 after 2. And Bill Clement, you said before the game that power plays may be a factor tonight.
Well, Montreal has matched the Rangers' special teams, but the reason they are tied is that they have stopped the bleeding. Somebody has taken away their suicide weapon. The reason that they were behind turnovers and unforced turnovers on the Mark Messier goal. Montreal was just trying to move it from defenseman to defenseman. Both New York forwards, and neither one is Messier, mirrored the puck. See where they're going to skate to actually follow the motion of the puck. Now, at one point, Mark Messier is going to jump up on the play. Why? There he is. The reason why he's going to jump up on the play, you take a look at these 2 Rangers forwards. They're both facing in a defensive direction, so he knows he has help coming back. So what does he do? He moves up. There's the attempted pass. The defenseman didn't expect it, and then it was just skill. Messier against the Canadiens, good shot off the post. Same thing with Mike Gardner's goal a little bit after that. He just took advantage of a turnover.
Well, we've had a whale of a game so far. We're set for what should be a great third period. Montreal 3, the Rangers 3. Let's go back live to Madison Square Garden, New York. Gary Thorne and Jim Schoenfeld, guys.
Tom, thanks very much. Teams back out on the ice 3-3 as we get set for the third period. We've seen 2 different kinds of games here. We'll see who wins the third.
Well, this is a look at the goal that Bill Clement was talking about. The giveaway by J.J. Daigneault to Mike Gardner put the Rangers up 3-2. A good shot past Patrick Waugh. And then Denis Savard, who has 3 points on the night, 17 on the season, tied it up for the Canadiens. He and Stéphane Lebeau do a good job forechecking here. 2 men in on James Patrick. Savard comes up with a puck, and he catches Van Beesbroek looking over the wrong shoulder as he does a wraparound and beats Van Beesbroek before he could get his pad over. A great Denis Savard goal. That's vintage Denis Savard right there. And he's playing extremely well this year. He has to be happy with the new look of the Canadiens.
And we are underway in this third period. Off the draw, Brian Leetch will pick it up, take it back into his own end. Third period, Madison Square Garden, game tied up. 2 really different periods, with the Rangers dominating the first period in a 2-0 lead. And the Canadiens coming back in that second period and getting 3 goals to the 1 picked up by Gartner for the Rangers. Gartner tipped it off in the corner. Thought someone was going to be there. Leetch back to get it. Take it in behind the net. Got a minute 5 remaining on the matching minor penalties, so we're still skating 4-on-4 here. Sent in by Desjardins. Gartner cleared it up along the boards. Canadiens hold it in. Savard, that was a centering pass. Leach read it, intercepted. Great sprawl to hold it in. Savard, Carbonneau, and it blocked by Boom. Back to the point. Canadiens, Van Beesbroek the save. Great shot, Daniel from the point. Great effort. Canadiens offside.
Well, Denis Savard gets terrific body position on the New York Ranger defenseman here, creating a great scoring opportunity for Guy Carbonneau. What a night Savard's having tonight. But watch him. He's in front of the net. You'll see the play come from Carbonneau. There's Savard against a much bigger defenseman in Boom. Gets good body position. Boom gets a stick down, makes a good play at stopping Carbonneau. But Savard, he just gets good body position here. You see him knocking him off, blocking him off, and he leaves the puck for Carbonneau, and Boom recovers. A good recovery by the big defenseman, but great body position by Denis Savard.
Loves to skate with his back to the direction you'd normally expect him to be going in. Not really skating backwards, but he just gets things turned around and freezes everybody out on the ice. Canadiens dump it at center. Damphousse chasing it into his own end. 10 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4 situation. We had matching minors. Roberge and Koser picked them up end of the period. Played behind the net by James Patrick. Patrick has had some problems scoring this season. Got it out along the zone to Joey Koser. Penalties are over. And we are back to a 5-on-5 situation here in this third period. Jan Eriksson, who's picked up his second goal of the season tonight, sends it in. Patrick Roy wraps it around the net. Canadiens and Rangers both getting their line set now. It'll be sent in wide side. Canadiens able to play behind the net. The centering pass for Roberge was missed. Lyle Odelin holds it in. Odelin, his centering pass blocked. Turcotte got a piece of that one. Canadiens doing a little skating and circling. Van Beesbroek makes the save on the turnaround shot. And Waite lost his helmet. LeBeau gets into it with Jay Wells. And nobody can afford to pick up a penalty that leaves their team shorthanded right now.
Again, good forechecking by the Montreal Canadiens. It catches the Rangers running around. They're beating them to the puck, creating scoring opportunities. I think Roger Nielsen should maybe shorten his bench here now. Get some guys more into an offensive flow. Find your 9 best forwards on the night. Go with them. Get the tempo back. Get some momentum back for your hockey club. They have to get on the attack. This is their home game. They've got to take it to the Canadiens. And from the second period on, the Canadiens have dominated the New York Rangers.
Roger Nielsen, cool, calm, and collected, working behind the net with his assistant coaches, Colin Campbell and Dan Maloney. The other side, Jacques Demers has the great Jacques Laperriere. He's been with them now, I think it's 13 seasons. Charles Tifo, Francois Allier, the goaltending coach. Laperriere, one of the great defensive players in the game in the time he was in with the Canadiens. Pass blocked into the corner. Rangers having trouble getting it out. Van Beesbroek's got to cover that one up. LeBeau coming out in front. Van Beesbroek saw him. And the Rangers having trouble right now, a little disorganized starting this third period.
There seems to be a pattern here. I mean, we've mentioned it before. The first period, they come out like gangbusters. I don't know if they run their legs out or if they get complacent and think it's going to be an easy night. But I saw it the last game against Washington. Same thing. They came out, dominated the first period. In the second and the third period, although they won the game 2-1, Washington was picking away, and coming back and getting better chances and more of them.
Remember, a lot of streaks on the line here tonight for the Rangers. They haven't lost at home this year. They haven't lost at home in the last 10 games going back to last year, the regular season. John Van Beesbroek hasn't lost at home in 17 games, 14-0-3. We've got a 3-3 game going into the third period. Canadiens able to work it out. Stephane LeBeau dropped it off. It'll be cleared in. Keane giving chase. Van Beesbroek there to play it. Keane tried to knock it down and couldn't. And it goes all the way out to center and back into the Canadiens' end. Patrick Roy has to go back to get it. Leaves it for Daniel, the 27-year-old defenseman, the veteran on this young Canadian defensive unit. And this is going to be an icing call on Montreal. That's the first time they've iced the puck in the game.
As you look at Coach Roger Nielsen, 3 years as a New York coach, he's had 2 first-place finishes and 1 second place, and that's the best consecutive 3-year finishes in club history. But the fans here are not looking at regular season anymore. They're thinking Stanley Cup, and I think Roger Nilsson is one of the finest coaches in the game. He's a real student of the game. Dan Maloney, Colin Campbell, they have a real good coaching staff, the New York Rangers. But it's up to the players. I mean, you can draw it out on the board. You've got to take it onto the ice. If you can do it for 20 minutes, you got to do it for 40, and then you got to do it for 60. If the Rangers want to advance out of this Patrick division, they have to start now at putting together 60 minutes of good hockey, game in and game out.
That is the tough grind of the 84-game season in the National Hockey League. Canadiens have it, coming out of their own end with it. And Beesbrook goes back behind the net. Todd Ewan was moving in on him. And Beesbrook gets back in the net as Guy Carbonneau got the puck. Carbonneau trying to drop it off for Ewan. Todd Ewan cut off by Joe Cirella. Cirella clears it up. Roberge back in the end. Roberge centering it. Just held onto in front of the net. Dangerous play right there. Jay Wells in front of Van Beesbrook. Just got enough of it to hold it out. Cleared to center Turcotte. Turcotte with King on the near side. Turcotte in his skates, off to King. King the move, a little opening, dropped it. Cirella, save made. Patrick Waugh, batted up in the air. And Hogarth says everything's all right. Looked like it might have been hit with a high stick. Not so. King goes down, hit by Guy Carbonneau. King got pinned against the boards. Gets back up again. Got the puck in the corner. Got a hit again by Lyle Odelin. Cleared out by Guy Carbonneau. Canadiens will change it up with a fly. Sent in by Matthew Snyder. And Beesbrook back to get it. 3-3, 4 minutes, 15 seconds. We are into this third period. Tony Amonte onside. Amonte passes to himself. Amonte took a hard hit. Still has the puck. Tony Amonte, what a job in the corner. Ed Ronan all over him. Graves kicked it away. Up along the boards, it'll be sent out of the zone. Dion got it out. And Beesbrook just runs it off to the side on the half shot. Cleared out by Messier to Graves. Messier, Graves, and Amonte back together again now on this line. Picked up by Patrick. Graves just overskated that one. Amonte got it away. Driven in, not far enough. Tony Amonte working hard here on this shift. Patrick Waugh holds it up behind his own net. Gives the Rangers a chance to make the change. Gartner blasted it over the head of Patrick Waugh. Another mistake. They got away with that one. Back the other way. Gilbert Dion. And he goes to the net. That'll get a whistle as Dion got knocked down on the breakaway.
Everywhere.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens throwing their weight around a little bit. You can see Guy Carbonneau on Chris King here gives him a good shot into the boards. And King did not like that. And then later on, Ronan ran at another one. As you see Amonte working very hard, a good shift. And Ronan gets the stick in and tries to run him into the boards. Montreal is going to have to finish their checks in their own zone if they want to come out of this game with 1 or possibly 2 points tonight.
14:41 remaining. Former broadcaster Jacques Demers, 2 years radio TV network with Quebec before going back behind the bench. Van Beesbrook makes the save. Rebound. He will cover that one up. It's been the Canadiens again here in this third period who are putting the heat on. Damphousse patrolling around that slot area all night long. 2 periods over in Washington. Second period in Winnipeg. And they're playing in Buffalo with San Jose looking for a win on the road. Draw comes to center. Jan Eriksson putting the pressure on, forcing Eric Desjardins back in the end. And it paid off. Got the errant pass. Eriksson sends it in. Left behind the net. Gartner back there. Gartner, Eriksson, Nemchinov on this line. They have been strong all night for the New York Rangers. Canadiens trying to get it out. Jammed to center. Kirk Muller couldn't handle it. Intercepted back to Leach. Leach just spins around at the red line, and Gartner will send it in again. Waugh holds it up. J.J. Daniel, far side glass. Damphousse. Down goes Nemchinov. Eriksson moves over. Nemchinov, Muller pins him up against the boards. Good hard work both ways here in this 3-3 game. Nobody wanting to make that big mistake. Whacked at center. Damphousse brings it in. Canadiens want to change it up. Van Beesbrook trying to catch him in the change. Pushed it all the way out to center. Brisebois sends it back into the zone. Then we'll head to the bench. Bookabloom, who's not seen a lot of ice time tonight, out there for the Rangers right now. Joey Kocur, nice move. Poke checked away from him by Matthew Snyder. 13:20 left, third period. Jay Wells has it. Messier, Eriksson, and Gartner have scored for the Rangers. Dion, Ewan, and Savard for the Montreal Canadiens. Offside on the Rangers.
Well, the most effective line for the New York Rangers tonight by far has been the line of Eriksson, Nemchinov, and Mike Gartner. I mean, they're forechecking well. They're finishing their checks. They're coming up with loose pucks. They're jumping in. They're good on the rush. They're good on the attack. They're good on the forecheck. They're creating chances many, many ways, and by far have been the most effective Ranger line.
There is Kovalev, who got moved up in the last game onto that line with Messier and started there again tonight. Graves had been taken off that line. Now here in the third period, Roger Nielsen has put Graves back out with Amati and Messier. Jean Leclerc out of Vermont, now playing in Montreal. ESPN, Jim and I will be Long Island at the Coliseum. The Los Angeles Kings and the Islanders, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Tuesday night for ESPN's National Hockey Night. The Kings and the Islanders, and Wayne Gretzky will be joining us during one of those intermissions. Tom Mees, Bill Clement, and Elmore Gandhi are going to have a chance to talk with him on Tuesday night. It's jammed up in the corner. Centering pass deflected in front off a lot of sticks as John Leclerc got knocked down, and a penalty coming up. Going to be an interference call in the corner, or a holding call, I guess.
A 3-3 game with 12:45 left. Momentum in the Canadiens' favor. He's got to be in the box hoping that he hasn't swung momentum towards the New York Rangers. He would be a very upset guy, or his coach would be a very upset guy, if the Rangers were to score on an offensive stick holding penalty.
He knew he was in trouble. You saw his hand go shooting up in the air. Once he did it, he knew it. Rangers 0 for 2 in the power play. Have had 5 shots on their power play chances tonight. Brian Leetch out the quarterback and along the blue line. Is a chance for the New York Rangers to go back on top. They have never trailed in this game and have had a 2-goal lead a couple of times, 2-0 and a 3-1. Mark Messier bounced it up to the point, intercepted. Keane drops it off. Shot deflected off J.J. Daigneault's stick, high and wide. Held in by Guy Carbonneau. Carbonneau, short-handed effort. Keane going over to help out. Ranger fans booing it here. Turcotte trying to knock it free. Keane. Nemchinov got it back to Leetch. Minute 20 left on the power play for the Rangers. Game tied 3-3, 12 minutes, third period. Dropped off. Messier. Nemchinov in behind the net. Gartner tried to get it back to him. Did. Leetch. Messier tipped away to center by Guy Carbonneau. Rangers have to get back on side. That's tonight in the power play. Tony Amati going to the corner. Muller was after him. Messier on the near side again. Down to 49 seconds of the power play. Brian Leetch. Messier drops it off. Gardner saved by Waugh. That low post is open as the Canadiens are giving up that doorstep shot. Waugh's blocked him a couple of times. Cleared out of the zone again by Guy Carbonneau and Muller. Turcotte back to get it. Down to 25 seconds of the power play. Leetch will send it in. Jammed on the boards by Messier. Freed up to Matthew Snyder. Snyder clears it out.
Good penalty killing by the Montreal Canadiens. Guy Carbonneau did an exceptional job before he changed. The Canadiens missed him. He was injured early in the year. He and Brian Skrudlin, who is still injured, and I think that was a great cause of their defensive failings early on in the season. They had traded Mike McPhee, who's a great defensive player, Shayne Corson, Brent Gilchrist, and it really had an adverse effect. I think now with Carbonneau back, they've really solidified their lines.
Tom Mees.
All right, Gary, let's go to Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. Boston in town. And Brent Ashton from behind the net. Nice pass right on the tape to Rosie Ruzicka. Vladimir Ruzicka, his 4th goal of the year. Boston up early in Edmonton.
That's the team I'm looking for to be one of the surprise teams in the National Hockey League, better than people think, and that's that Boston Bruins team. Ruzicka is one of the reasons. He looks like he's ready to become a real National Hockey League scorer.
2
10:43 left to go in this third period. Game tied at 3. The power play for the Rangers is over. Well, the Rangers have not been able to convert on their power play chances tonight. Savard's power play goal, the only power play goal in this game. Another pass tipped up into the seat, stopping play. Take a look at James Patrick momentarily. And Natalie attire, Jacques Demers.
With the firepower the Rangers can put on the ice, they have to be very disappointed with their power play opportunity this year and the scoring chances they've got on it and the production. I mean, this is something the players get on the ice. You know the penalty killers are working extra hard. They're down a man. That doesn't mean you can take it easy. You have to work. If you want to create scoring chances and get some goals, you've got to keep working. I'm sure Roger Nilsson is aware of that. It's a concern, and Roger doesn't let things fester too long. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Canadiens have a practice tomorrow strictly on power play.
Face off, one back to the point. Patrick's shot deflected off the pocketbook of King. And it's cleared out the center. Canadiens get it back. Down the middle, Savard. Savard shot blocked by James Patrick. Good play by Patrick. Just reached in and made the stick block that time. Patrick racing up with it. Patrick hooked from behind, still has it. Patrick looking, Graves cutting to the middle. Pass was blocked by Matthew Snyder. Far corner, the jam up. Graves able to free it out. Trying to hit anyone in the middle for the Rangers, but nobody was there. Good coverage put on here. King backs it up the other way. Patrick steps up from the point to Graves. Graves working here with King and Amonte on this line, jammed into the corner. No, Broughton's out there, not Amonte. As Roger Nilsson shuffling the lines a little bit here in this third period. Trying to find some more scoring punch. Hardy will tip it in. Clock down to 9:40 left to go, third period. Errant pass too far ahead for Ewan. Jay Wells back in his own end. Both teams able to complete changes on the fly here, and that'll end up in the seats on the deflected pass. College football coming up tomorrow here on ESPN. A couple of games you're going to be seeing at 12:30 Eastern and 9:30 Pacific time. Wisconsin will be playing at Indiana. And then you'll see Air Force in San Diego coming up 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific. That's college football right here on ESPN tomorrow. 9:32 left to go, third period. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld in the packed house in Madison Square Garden. And it has been just that good a game right there. Shot back in and taken by Joe Cirella. Shot from Patrick Brisebois at the point. Damphousse intercepts. Damphousse looking. Kirk Muller down low. On the near side, Ewan. Ewan back Muller. Muller pinned up, knocked down. Damphousse tied up by Cirella. Damphousse had it poke checked away. Point shot deflected. Damphousse again. Damphousse. Canadiens holding it in the zone. Muller waiting for the pass. Gartner stepped in. Muller's got it. Kirk Muller tipped over the net. And Beesbrook watching that one jump as Muller centered it in. And Damphousse tipped it up. And the Rangers now penned in their own end here for that whole shift. Damphousse sends it back, intended for Muller. Canadiens need to get a shift. They're waiting here to do that. See if the Rangers can take advantage of it. Patrick Waugh at the far end's got to play that behind the net and just didn't. He let it go, saw the icing call coming.
Well, Kirk Muller's had a very strong third period. He's a hard-working guy. He's one of the most honest, dedicated hockey players I've had the good fortune of knowing. And he's really turned it up this third period. He's a guy I would look for to score a goal. He was the leading scorer in the Canadiens last year. In a close game, Muller's the type of player that will get you the big goal.
Their wingers, centermen rather, for the Canadiens have picked up 41 points. Savard, Muller, LeBeau, Carbonneau working sometimes in those positions. And it's kind of interesting. These two teams are diverse in that. The Montreal Canadiens rely on the centers and their left wing, while the New York Rangers scoring comes largely from the right wing, with a lot of assists going to their centermen. So the exact opposite forwards match up against one another. Checkers against the offensive teams each way. Back in behind the net, Van Beesbrook. John Van Beesbrook pushed it up, got caught up on the dasher. Keane shot, deflected away, picked up by Messier. Messier coming with Graves and Amonte. Messier dropped it in, sent right back up to Keane. Leach had it, lost it. Good stick play by Keane. Mike Keane took it away from Leach. Down the middle, intended for Keane. Right back out of the zone, Brian Leach. Poke checked away. Canadiens almost got caught with too many on the ice, but it was away from the play, and Hogarth let it go. Graves in. Messier couldn't get it on the stick for the shot. He wanted it. He was winding up. It just wouldn't sit for him. Tipped by Graves. Waugh makes the save. Adam Graves stationed right in front of Patrick Waugh. Here's Matthew Snyder. Blue line fake. Poke checked away from him. Good play that time. Jeff Bukaboom who poked it away. Play picks up again. Lyle Odelin sent it up. Carbonneau in. Off the dasher to Van Beesbrook. Tipped at the side of the net. 7:17 left third period. Game tied at 3. We've had no scoring here in the third period. Broughton trying to get it out. Runs into Snyder. Got it out. Graves coming with King. Down the middle. Rolled in. Patrick Waugh followed it. Tips it off to Lyle Odelin. Rangers had a chance at a 2-on-2. Much of the game has been played at just this pace. Sent back in all the way around the near side. King batted at it. Couldn't get it out of the zone. Held in. Up along the point by Keane again. Turcotte's got it. Turcotte drops it off. James Patrick in. Patrick rushing. And Waugh will pull it in and draw the whistle.
Brian Hayward doesn't have much chance there. 1 goal, 3 assists tonight, Gary, for Mr. Pat LaFontaine.
One of the smoothest and one of the nicest. This one, 6:38 left to go. Game tied at 3-3. Kirk Muller will be out to take the face-off. Nemchinov won it. Shot deflected wide of Patrick Waugh. Bounced to the far side of the net. Not sure he saw that one off the stick of Jay Wells. Gartner has got a goal. Gartner gets tied up in the corner. J.J. Daniel is back there on him. Brisebois. The battle. Muller takes the Ranger down. Muller pushed it up along the boards. Can't get it by Joe Cirella. Cirella, nice work to hold it in momentarily at least. Still in the zone. Jan Eriksson over to get it. And they are really going at it now. Gartner, 6 minutes to go. 3-3 game, third period. Hogarth's letting them play, and they are. Joe Cirella tips it in. Eriksson couldn't hold it. Kick to the near side by Muller. Kurt Muller may be the best man in the National Hockey League at directing the puck with a skate.
Yeah, he really is. He has a real knack of doing that. He gets it onto his stick and he can get the shot away in a hurry. And what a job. And that was just hard work by both teams. When you're grinding and crunching along the boards like that, it takes an awful lot out of you. And it's already been a pretty physical game with a lot of good skating.
Brisebois got it out the center. Back on the attack. Shot. Van Beesbrook makes the save. Great check on the follow-up by Jeff Bukaboom. Bukaboom with a big hit. Tony Amati. Amati rolled it in. He didn't intend to shoot that at that point. Pushed off his stick. And again, we get the scrum. The side of the net.
The Canadiens are trying to make it uncomfortable every time a Ranger goes in front of the net, as Big Bukaboom did. The Montreal Canadian forward. You see Dion going in. He gets his shot away, but he's going to pay a big price. Oh, Dion jumps up a little bit. And I'll tell you, Bukaboom really gave him a pretty good ride into the boards. And this is just hard work by Muller, Eriksson. I mean, these guys are strong. They've already been grinding for about 20 seconds up to this point. In comes Haller with a good hit on Eriksson. And there's Gartner. And there's Brisebois. I mean, they just keep going and going and going. These guys are working hard. Had to be 20 seconds of just scrumming along the boards. And that's very, very tough on the legs. And Muller's still out there. I can't believe he's got enough stamina. But it's a big face-off. And Jacques Demers must feel Muller's his best face-off man. They want to win this draw against Mark Messier.
Shots are now 30-25 in favor of the Rangers. This one, Messier wins to Leach. Turnaround shot wide of Waugh. Waugh tipped it off the boards. And back we come the other way. Up and down the ice. Just flying through the middle. Savard got cut off. Picked up and played out by Leach. Another good job by Bukaboom as he rode off Denis Savard. Back in, 2-on-1. Centering pass, partially blocked, tipped in the air and into the seats. There's a chance lost. Dion down the middle, tried to knock the aerial pass out of the air into the net. They momentarily had a 3-on-1 chance. 4 minutes, 56 seconds left to go in this third period. Our Budweiser scoreboard, the Islanders, third period. Kings up in Winnipeg. And now Buffalo's come back to tie it on that goal by LaFontaine at home against San Jose.
A good chance by the Canadiens. Rowan just double clutched. He couldn't quite get the pass out front. They had a good 3-on-1. He just mishandled the puck a little bit. And they were unable to get a shot on goal because he couldn't get the pass to the slot.
Savard won the faceoff. Van Beesbrook back in behind the net to hold it up. Rangers just tipped out of the zone, trying to break Messier. Messier had it poke checked away by Desjardins. Graves got it back, rolls it in. Waugh has trouble with it, bounced up on him. Covers it up. 4:34 left in regulation. Game tied at 3-3.
Leading 1-0. You'll see Craig McTavish tied up with the Bruin, but here comes the puck, and Andy Moog flat out misplays it. Kelly Buchberger says, oh my, Christmas comes early, as he just puts in what Bill Clement would call a yayer. We're tied at 1 in the first in Edmonton. Gary?
Rangers on the draw. It's taken by Nemchinov. Nemchinov circling. Poke checked away. Gartner trying to hold it in. Wells dives to Gartner. Gartner will back it up. Eriksson, Nemchinov, and Gartner out there. Jim noting during that break the offensive faceoff. He took out Messier's line and brought them in.
They had a minute rest, but he felt this is the line that's going to get the best chance to score the game-winning goal. You had Messier, Amante, and Graves out there. They had a minute rest while we're away at commercial. They could have stayed, but he sent out Nemchinov's line because they have been the dominant line tonight for the New York Rangers.
And the icing call, as you take a look at Patrick Brisebois, we'll bring it back into the Rangers end. Delighted to have you with us here at Madison Square Garden tonight, ESPN's National Hockey Night. And couldn't ask for a much better game than this one, as the Rangers have had a 2-goal lead twice in this game, but have not been able to hang on to it. And the Montreal Canadiens have battled back the last 2 goals. Ewan and Savard scored in the second period to tie this game up. The shots now 31-25. Rangers have had the advantage there, but a much greater advantage in that first period when they outshot the Canadiens 16-5. And we've got 4:10 to see if this can be decided in regulation. Cleared around the boards. Rangers. Patrick got it out of the zone. Montreal will clear, ship it right back in. Hardy goes back to get it. Hardy around the net. Mike Keane all over him. Hardy working to Patrick. 2 of them the defensive pairing. Patrick's pass partially blocked. Canadiens with that tenacious forechecking game, trying to force the errant mistake. Brisebois on the near side. Patrick Brisebois got hit by weight as he delivered it out of the zone. Savard to Keane. Keane will drop it off. Pass into the middle. Nobody was there. Turcotte got it out. Played by J.J. Daniel again. Now the team's a little more conservative than we've seen, not wanting to make the big mistake here in the final minutes. Keane knocked down. Picked up by James Patrick. 3:20 left to go in regulation play. 2-on-2 break. Rangers the other way. The spin. Kovalev trying to do a little Savard. May have gotten himself a little off balance. Fans wanted a penalty, but it looked like he went down more under his own spin than anybody else's. Kovalev watched Savard and immediately repeats. Little like that young man. Eric Desjardins got it out of the zone. 2:58 left in this 3-3 game. Kurt Muller cutting with him. Pass intended for Muller. Blocked. Leach drives it out of the zone. Tip pass by Eriksson. Intercepted. Sent back. Muller again is in the middle. 3-on-2 break. In front. Shot. Save. Muller trying to tip it. Van Beesbrook blocked it. Van Beesbrook covers it up. Muller trying to jam it twice at the side of the net. Tom.
All right, Gary, other highlights around the league. Cap Center, Landover, Maryland. Want to see a pretty backhand. We're not talking tennis either. The Islanders' Pierre Turgeon skates in on the right wing, cuts to the backhand and scores over the left shoulder of Don Beaupre. Isles looking good, 3-1 in the third at Landover.
Well, Bellows, who's missed part of this period with a bit of a Grange groin, and Damphousse 2-on-1, the New York Ranger defenseman. You have Muller on the doorstep, but Van Beesbrook comes up with a save to keep the score tied at 3.
Great pressure at each end. The team's taking turns putting the offensive pressure on. 2 minutes 37 seconds remaining. Neither team has used their timeout yet in this game. Nemchinov moves in to take the draw against Kurt Muller. Nemchinov backing Muller out of it. Good play. He got it away to James Patrick around the boards. Matthew Snyder stepped up, held it in. Damphousse, his pass. That one shot deflected wide. Damphousse, nice job to get it back into the middle. Back the other way. Nemchinov in. The move. Poke checked away from him. J.J. Daniel. Nemchinov. Nope, that was Patrick Brisebois who blocked that. Muller couldn't get it out. Hardy shot blocked. Gartner has it. Gartner dropped it just a little too far ahead for James Patrick. Matthew Snyder over to pick it up. 2 minutes remaining. 3-3 game. Nobody scored here in the third period. Damphousse sends it in again. Bellows on the near side. Hardy on him. James Patrick picks it up. Looks for a teammate up ice. Finds Erickson. Rangers changing. Damphousse again intercepting. Rangers with about 8 bodies out there heading to the bench or coming out. They get it set. Hardy waited for him. 1:39 to go. Tony Amonte. Amonte cutting in. Amonte the shot blocked into the seats off the stick of Desjardins. 1:33 left. Hope you'll continue to follow the National Hockey League ESPN Tuesday night. Jim and I will be on the island as the Los Angeles Kings will take on the New York Islanders, 7:30 Eastern. And then we will follow that up on Friday with the Islanders and the New Jersey Devils from the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Roger Nielsen and Jacques Demers. All you can do is send them out now. A great hockey game. What looked like it might be a wide open offensive game has really settled down here in this third period to be a tight checking game. Rangers trying to hold it in almost. Out of the zone, Gilbert Dion. Denis Savard. Savard circling. Sends it in for Dion. Intercepted. Messier dropped it off. 1:12 left to go in regulation. Messier with Graves. Dropped it wide wing side. Couldn't be played. Canadiens. One mistake in this one to give somebody an advantage. Down the slot, tipped wide of the net. Marcel Dion has done a great job in this shift keeping the pressure on. There he is behind the net. Tried to turn it to Savard, blocked away. Here comes Messier. Canadiens are back. Messier to the middle. Messier the shot. Wow, the save. Kicked it out. Rebound fanned on. Patrick shot. Wow, the save. Rebound handled by Matthew Snyder. Patrick moves up. Holds it in. Canadiens trying to change. Graves behind the net. 34 seconds in regulation. Messier looking. Mark Messier turns it again. Carbonneau on him. Carbonneau. Messier in the middle. Shot. Graves save. Rebound. Covered up and save. Broughton standing in front. Had a rebound shot. Patrick Roy. Both saves.
From one end to the other. Great goaltending. Great scoring chances. Terrific hockey entertainment. Here's Messier and Carbonneau. Carbonneau's on him. He's on him. Messier stops, turns. Carbonneau stays with him, stays with him. Finally, Graves gets into the slot. Snyder's a little late getting to him, and a good shot. Snyder has to use his stick, his eyes there. He's got to be watching the play and then touching the Montreal forward when he sees him. Here's Daniel. He looks the defense off. He looks to Savard. Leach goes to Savard. It opens up, and Bookeboom just gets a hook on him. But all he did, he gave a good look to Savard as if he was going to pass the puck. Leach cheated a little bit that way. It opened up the middle, and he was able to go in and had a pretty good crack at scoring a goal on John Van Beesbroek.
22 and 3/10 seconds remaining. Timeout used here. Jacques Demers leaving Carbonneau and Keane out there on the ice. Messier is going to stay out there. Surprise, surprise.
Well, the Canadiens will try to scramble this draw. You've got Carbonneau out there. He's a right-handed face-off man. He can draw it back in his backhand. You also have Keane, who can take face-offs. He's also a right-handed shot. And Kirk Muller's out there, who's a centerman, too. So they've got three guys that are good at face-offs. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Carbonneau tries to get Messier tossed by cheating a little bit on the draw here. It would surprise me if he tried to win it clean with only 22 seconds left. He wants to scramble it, outnumber the Rangers, get the puck behind the net along the boards to the wide side where there is no Ranger defender. They lost the draw.
Messier won it. Leach shot it back into the middle. Blasted wide of Patrick Roy. Oh, what a scoring chance Tony Amonte had. He turned on it and he got it all, but he didn't get it on net. 9 seconds left to go in regulation. Behind the net, Desjardins lost it. Graves was there. Back out. Leach shot. Save. Wow! Covered up Carbonneau, and that's the end of regulation. And our National Hockey Night extended coverage continues.
Well, that's not what Jacques Demers wanted, but that's textbook what Roger Nielsen wanted. Get the puck back to the point, have your offside winger with a left-handed shot cheat to the right face-off circle. Patrick Roy's left. The shot came from the point over there, the rebound. And the Rangers came up with 2 or 3 good scoring chances there.
We go to overtime, 3-3.
National Hockey Night will be going back to New York City in a moment. First of all, they got a good one going in Winnipeg. The LA Kings had a 2-0 lead against the Winnipeg Jets after 1. But in the second period, it's been the Darren Shannon show. Kings have trouble clearing the puck out of their own zone. Paul Coffey can't quite get a handle on it. Comes back to Troy Murray. Murray in the slot quickly to Darren Shannon, his second goal of the period. That ties it at 2 in the second. Now let's go to the Garden for the overtime, Gary.
All right, Tom, we go to the 5-minute sudden death overtime. Game tied 3-3. Third period shots. Rangers 10-9 the advantage. Overall, Rangers the advantage 35-27. Messier, Eriksson, and Gartner have scored for the Rangers. Dion, Ewan, and Savard for the Canadiens. No scoring in the third period. Take a deep breath, Mark Messier. Fixing a little hole in the ice.
Well, Roger Nielsen, he likes the Messier-Savard matchup here. You've got Brisebois on defense. Youngster, also Matthew Snyder, who's a little more seasoned veteran. So it's a pretty good matchup for the Canadiens, too.
Messier won the draw back to Leach. First overtime for the Rangers this season. Montreal won overtime in a tie. Thought they had a break, the fans did, but Carbonneau was there to knock it away to Savard. Freed at center to Graves. Leach, his pass, intercepted. Shipped right back over to Leach. Leach drops it off. Rangers back in. Messier. Messier between the legs. Leach shot deflected. Rebound. Graves. Couldn't get it. It never rolled in on goal. Wow was waiting. 3-on-2 break. Possibility here. Between the legs. The middle. A shot. That's deflected as Leach went down and blocked it on Ed Ronan. Canadiens regain possession. They clear the zone. We are in sudden death overtime. Game tied at 3-3. Near side intended for Leach. Comes all the way to center. Nemchinov could not handle it. Odelin backed it up to Muller. Muller sends it in on the wide side. Bukaboom going over to get it. Bukaboom with a tremendous hit in the corner. That freed that puck up in a hurry. Nemchinov back up. Eriksson. Nemchinov overskated. Rangers would have been offside. Muller hooked from behind. Couldn't get it. Wells tipped it out. Muller still in the zone. Won't matter now as Eriksson's got it. Jan Eriksson hooked a little from behind. Sends it in. Bellows got a piece of him. Picked up by Muller. Muller trying to drop it in the middle. Went back to the defenseman. 3:30 left to go in this overtime. Canadiens a little dump and chase. John Van Beeswerk hanging on to it. Wells at center. This was stripped to the puck that time. Taking a strip. Shot save on Turcotte. Oh, what a chance. New York Rangers trying to create the turnover. Did, then tried to win on it. Not quite. As Patrick Roy made the save. Canadiens scramble the other way. Left wing side, Bukaboom again. That's about the third shot he has put on in this game.
Third big hit. Real big hit.
John LeClaire hit that time. Brisebois behind the net. King moving in on him. Paul Brott stepped up trying to get it. Comes all the way back to Hardy. Rangers in their own end. 2:46 to go in the overtime. Hardy ahead for Turcotte, who had that chance. Turcotte heads to the bench after dumping it in. Keane. Canadiens looking to break somebody. Couldn't find it, so just sent it into the wide side corner. Messier drops it near side to Hardy. 2:26 to go in the overtime. Got it out to Tony Amonte, and Amonte just ridden off the puck. Eric Desjardins picked it up. Messier stays out on the ice here. A little double shifting for him. Amonte, Tony Amonte for the winner. Never got the shot off, centered it. Messier was there, couldn't get it. James Patrick, wow, the save, rebound to Amonte. Had no angle. Tony Amonte sent it over Patrick Roy, but he was behind the goal line when he shot it. Loose at center, both teams changing, except for Messier, who stays out. Rangers back. Gartner fake. Save by Patrick Roy. Mike Gartner going for the game winner. Into the middle, intended for Graves. Intercepted again. Todd Ewan. He's going to head to the bench, let the puck roll. This will be an icing call on the Canadiens.
Well, I'll tell you, there are about 5 or 6 Montreal Canadiens that should be buying Patrick Roy lunches, dinners, and drinks for the next month. He has been spectacular in this overtime. They've made a ton of mistakes in their own zone, and he comes up with stop after stop after stop. Terrific goaltending by Patrick Roy. Desjardins makes the wrong guess there. Monty jumps in. And a great play by Daniel coming over to eliminate the shot from Amonte. But play just continued, and Roy was peppered. There's one by Patrick. What a save. Amonte tries to get it out. It's a little high for Messier, but I mean, Patrick Roy has been spectacular. Gardner comes in. Good shot. It gets right through, but he's out. You see, Patrick Roy is out challenging. That shot misses him by a little bit, deflects off. If he's back in the net, that shot goes off his pads and into the net. That's a confident goaltender who knows how to play his position. He sees Gardner has nowhere else to go. He's out challenging the shooter, and the shot trickles wide. Great goaltending.
Demchinov won the draw. Gardner again backs it in front. Never got in on Roy. And Leach can't hold it in. And Beesbrook comes out to play it. That's the time remaining in the overtime. At center ice, jammed up. Demchinov got it away. And the roll to J.J. Daniel right in there with Patrick Roy that time. Not quite where he wanted to be. Jan Eriksson on the far side. Eriksson has a Ranger goal here tonight. Down goes Dion as he got nailed.
And guess who hit him?
Jeff Bukaboom is all over the place tonight with the best hits of the night. Final minute of the overtime. Could be an icing. Snyder, the touch-up, face-off in the Ranger end. Well, couldn't ask for much more out of a hockey game than what we've seen in this one.
Can you believe the tempo of this overtime period? It's amazing. Jeff Bukaboom, a well-deserved rest. Unfortunately, he just iced that puck. Here you see Doug coming, and he just rolls right over top of him. He's throwing about 4 or 5 big hits tonight. And not only has he hit the Canadian player, he's come up with the puck after the hit, or he's pinned the player, and his forward has come in and helped him to get the puck. Here's another hit. He stands him up, drives him into the boards, and you'll see that the Rangers come up with a puck.
6'5", 225 pounds.
He had a tremendous game against Washington on Wednesday night, too. He's played very well, 2 games in a row that I've seen.
Muller won the draw. Canadiens have it in the offensive zone here this game in the final seconds. 45 left to go. Muller behind the net, tied up, kicked it around the boards. Tony Amonte got it, dropped it into the middle. Messier hooked from behind, or he would have been driving. Patrick Roy feeds it off on the side. Brisebois. Rangers trying to put heat on to hold it in. Can't do it. Montreal brings it out. Hogarth letting the little hooking and holdings go here. Muller fights it off. Shot! Van Beesbrook the save on Kurt Muller. Off Messier's stick to center. Tony Amonte coming. Mark Messier in. Messier saved by Roy! Did it again! 15 seconds left to go. Muller puts the shot on Amonte. Puck pinned up. Muller's running out of legs here. He's trying to freeze it up. Gets dumped by Adam Graves. Muller's down on the ice. He's run out of gas, I think. He's been out there for a very long shift.
He played an awful lot of hockey in the third period and in the overtime, and an awful lot of hard hockey. Crunching, grinding, working along the boards, coming up with loose pucks, hitting guys, being hit. He has every right in the world to be tired, but Jacques Demers is leaving him on the ice. No, he is being changed. There he goes. A well-deserved rest for Kirk Muller, and a pretty good game tonight, Kirk.
Well, Patrick was robbed Messier of a goal here in this overtime. He's robbed the 10th leading goal scorer all time, Gartner, of a goal, chance to win it. The other end, Van Beesbrook had to make a save on Muller's last shot.
You know, I mentioned earlier, I was wondering if the Rangers, they have the dominant first period and then they lapse in the second and more in the third, and I was wondering if perhaps it's fatigue. This is my answer. It's not fatigue, because they have really turned up the Jets here. I think they just must get a little complacent. They must feel they're going to have an easy night and leave their work ethic in the room for the middle period, because they have really stormed the Montreal zone in this overtime. This has been a game played at a very high tempo.
John Van Beesbrook will go to the bench with 5 2/10 seconds left. Rangers will get the extra skater for the offensive draw.
This is a calculated gamble by Roger Nielsen. There is time for the Canadiens to score if they win the draw clean and get a good clean shot down the ice. Nielsen figures that Messier will at worst scramble the draw, at best win it back to the point. And even if they lose the draw, they'll be able to get into the line of the shooter so the puck will not be scored into the empty net.
Keane jumping into the circle. They weren't happy with the alignment. Carbonneau and Messier. Messier won it. That's what they wanted. The point shot deflected into the corner. Messier centers. Daniel knocks it away. And the Rangers still haven't been beaten at home. But what a tremendous hockey game that ends up in a 3-3 tie.
Well, that was Guy Carbonneau that made that last block. I mean, he had his back to it. He's in a very vulnerable position, but he's hung in there knowing it was going to sting him. It did, but it may have saved a point here for the Montreal Canadiens, and he played a very strong game.
40 shots on for the Rangers, 29 for the Canadiens. Our final score, Montreal and New York, 3-3 tie. For Jim Schoenfeld and all of our crew, Gary Thorne. Loved it, Tom. Back to you.
We loved it too, Gary. You're going to take a few seconds to catch our breath here. 3-3. We've had 4 games on National Hockey Night so far this year. 3 of them have gone to overtime. None more exciting, Bill and Al, than this. Calculated gamble by Roger Nielsen there.
I'm so surprised. I mean, we knew that Roger Nielsen was going to be less conservative this year. That's what he said. But 5 seconds is plenty of time. I mean, it blew me away. Although you had to know by the way Roger was coaching, he was going for the win, not willing at all to sit back for a tie. I think New York is better than Montreal as a team. Roger Nielsen knows that, but I was really surprised that he pulled. That was plenty of time to get scored on, but I like the change. That's the one variable Roger Nielsen needed to change, is he was too conservative.
Anything but boring tonight watching this game out.
Playoffs in October. What more could you ask for? An absolute playoff-style game, playoff tempo game, beginning to end.
A delight indeed from beginning to end, as Al said. 3-3, the final score. At this moment, the Montreal Canadiens, with a 4-3-2 record, are atop the always competitive Adams division. Back with more in a moment. And eventually, after Benoit Hogue got it over to Steve Thomas, Thomas would score against Beaupré. That made it 5-2. Ray Ferraro has since scored to make it 5-2. It was Thomas's goal to make it 4-2. Ferraro scores to make it 5-2. This Islander bunch is going to be an interesting team all year long, Bill.
Well, they're only going to get better after Christmas as well, Tom. They've got a young defense, so I think they're going to gel. Remember, I picked them to be a surprise team in the Patrick division, and they're winning in the division. This is their 7th game in the division. They've won 4 on the other side. Washington's got to pull out of this divisional skid now because they're going to be behind the 8 ball within the division.
And now, quickly, it looks like another loss maybe for the Caps in this division.
Caps have to get going. The Islanders, as Bill said, their 2 Soviet players played, Malakov and Kasparaitis, have been playing very well this early, which is scary because they're going to get just better and better.
Meanwhile, up in Winnipeg, the LA Kings came out meeting business, taking a 2-0 lead after 1, but it's been all Winnipeg since then. Couple of goals by Darren Shannon to tie it at 2, and then one of the real under-publicized players in the league, Frederick Olesen, will end up with a blast from the top of the face-off circle. Wow. Kelly Rudy didn't have much of a chance on that one. He just swiped at it with his glove. Shannon with 2 goals, but Olesen gives Winnipeg the lead by a score of 3-2. They're still catching their breath at Madison Square Garden. I mean by that, Gary Thorne and Jim Schoenfeld and a guy that wore number 33 for Montreal tonight, Patrick Waugh. Let's go back to New York City, guys.
Tom, thank you very much. Patrick Waugh is only 27 years old, and he's closing in on 200 wins in the National Hockey League, only a couple shy of that. There have only been in the history of this game 36 goaltenders who have ever won 200 games in the National Hockey League. Patrick, you're almost there. That was a great game tonight. Tremendous show.
Yeah, you know, it was important for us to start to win on the road, and tonight I think Rangers is a very good team at home, and it was a good challenge for us to get some confidence and momentum on the road, and we didn't start very well, but we came back in second period with 3 big goals and tied the game, and I think we left Madison Square Garden with a big point.
Did you feel that your team abandoned you a little bit in the overtime there? It seemed like the Rangers were coming at you in droves.
But I feel like they put a little bit more pressure. With 5 seconds left in the game, they pulled a goal. You could see that they didn't want to tie; they want to win a game. But we had great scoring chance in third period, and it's too bad we didn't score a goal to win the game. But the main thing is we get out of here with a big point, and now we're going in Philly, and it's going to be another good challenge for us.
Patrick, take a look at the monitor down there, if you would. This is a chance Tony Amonte had against you. Tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, I remember that one. I think the pass goes on the side. Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, all I wanted is get as close as possible of the puck and make sure that he cannot, try to come back in front of the net or put the puck, right in the crease to have a great scoring chance.
This is Adam Graves on you, Patrick.
Yeah, that one I just wanted to cover more as space as possible. That's why I went on butterfly, and I knew the guy was there for the rebound, and being on butterfly and cover all the ice surface with my defense there was almost impossible for the guy to put the puck up top. And and my defenseman giving me time to freeze the puck, then it was an easier play for me.
Patrick, how many games do you think you'll end up playing this season?
Well, you know, I played 67 last year, and it was a lot of game because, you know, I didn't have too many practice off, and I practiced more. You know, I was there for almost every practice. But now with Jacques, you know, we don't practice as much, and like yesterday we didn't have practice. Then, you know, you just focus on the game, and you got to be disciplined on yourself if you want to play. You know, stay in shape, and it's easier for the game.
Patrick, congratulations on another great performance. Have a great season.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Patrick Roy, our guest, and that's your final from Madison Square Garden. New York Rangers and the Canadiens play to a 3-3 tie.
He has 2 goals. He has 3 assists. Wow, what a player he is. Buffalo leads late over San Jose 5-4 in the third. A game also going on at this hour, Boston and Edmonton. Boston scored first, but Edmonton has scored the last 2. It is 2-1 at the end of one. They're in the first intermissions at Northland's Coliseum. Our game was 3-3, a final at overtime. Al, your impressions tonight?
I'm impressed with New York. I think Patrick Roy stole a point from him tonight. In a Mark Messier-driven team, don't tell me the regular season's not important. They're out for all 84.
Well, from a Montreal standpoint, they're going to be a good team before this season is over. They had 93 points. They were the 5th best team in the league last year. They're going to be better in the second half because they've got young defensemen. They're going to be a team of the second half.
A reminder for those of you who have been watching our game tonight from New York, we'll come back at you Tuesday night, 7:30. That's Tuesday night. The LA Kings, Luc Robitaille and company taking on the New York Islanders. Up next is live coverage of the Breeders' Crown Trotting Series on ESPN. For Al Morganti and Bill Clement, I'm Tom Mees. Thanks.